The fog rolled across the lake like a slow, steady breath. Cold, damp, and uninvited, it wrapped the boat in a shifting wall of gray, obscuring the shore behind and the island ahead. All that remained was silence, until a voice broke through. "Check the GPS again," said Isla, gripping the boat's railing with white knuckles. "We should have seen land by now." Beside her, Logan tapped the screen on his waterproof tablet. "Still heading north. Monk's Hollow should be right." A shadow loomed through the mist. Rocky cliffs, dead trees like black spears piercing the sky, and just beyond them, the island. It didn't look welcoming. They docked at the base of a crumbling pier. Wooden planks cracked underfoot as the 5 members of the expedition disembarked. Isla, Logan, Maya, Chris, and Jordan. Young, ambitious, and hungry for a story. They called themselves Northern Mythos, a small documentary crew specializing in Canada's strangest, darkest folklore. Monk's Hollow was their boldest project yet, an island wrapped in whispers where time had seemingly stopped. No one lived there. No one visited. Locals in the nearest village wouldn't even say its real name aloud. Logan set up the first camera. "Footage looks good, creepy as hell." Isla glanced around. The forest pressed close to the shoreline, black spruce and skeletal pines twisted in unnatural shapes. The fog never lifted. Not completely. "Let's make camp and get the drone shots in the morning," Isla said. They pitched their tents just beyond the tree line. The ground was spongy and cold. Everything smelled of rot. As night fell, Maya lit a small fire. Chris read aloud from a weathered journal they had picked up from a used bookstore in Thunder Bay. It was one of the few references to Monk's Hollow they could find. In 1831, a group of monks fled persecution and established a monastery upon an unnamed island in Lake Ebon. They were not heard from again. A rescue party arrived years later to find empty buildings, blood-stained walls, and a bell that rang at night, with no one to pull the rope. Jordan laughed nervously. "That's comforting." That night, no one slept well, not because of the cold, but because the bell rang. There was no bell tower. By morning, the fog had thinned, revealing the heart of the island, the ruins of the monastery. Half-collapsed stone walls blackened by time. Vines and moss clung to the remnants of arches and windows. A single crucifix still stood above what must have once been the chapel, though its figure of Christ was missing. Maya filmed silently. Logan flew the drone overhead. "It's like something clawed through this place," Isla said, running her hand over a deep gouge in the stone. "Not weather, something violent." Inside, the main hall was cold and hollow. They found broken pews, rotting books, and shattered glass. But one room remained untouched. The scriptorium. Dozens of handwritten pages lay on ancient desks, all written in Latin. Some pages were stained with ink, others with something darker. "This one mentions Vox Umbrae," Chris translated, "the voice of the shadow, and sacrifices, willing and otherwise." A wind slammed the door shut. Maya screamed. Jordan opened it. No one was there. That night, Isla woke to whispers. She stepped outside her tent and found the forest lit with a faint bluish glow. "Logan! Chris!" she called. The others were still asleep. The whispers grew louder. They weren't in English. They weren't in any language she knew, but she understood them. "Bring us your light. Bring us your voice." Something moved just beyond the trees, tall robed figures that faded like smoke when she blinked. She ran back to the camp. The bell rang again. This time everyone heard it. The next morning, Logan was missing. His gear was untouched, his shoes still by the tent. Maya rewound drone footage from the previous day. "Look here," she said, pointing at the screen. "There, by the chapel." A figure stood in the clearing, cloaked, arms raised, and Logan walking toward it. "This has to be a prank," Jordan muttered. But Isla wasn't so sure. They searched all day, no tracks, no trail, just the fog, thicker now, heavier. By evening, they returned to the monastery and found something new, fresh blood on the chapel floor, and one word carved into the stone, vocatus. It means the summoned, Chris whispered. That night, Chris vanished. Maya found his notebook still warm in his tent. The last page was smeared with frantic writing. They hear your name. They learn your shape. When you speak of them, they take it as invitation. Isla was done. We're leaving, now. But the boat was gone, not untied, not broken, gone, like it had never been. Jordan stared across the water. There's something in the lake. I saw it moving. It looked like Chris. That night they didn't light a fire. They didn't speak. They listened, and the whispers came again. Maya insisted they go back to the monastery. She believed something was drawing them there. A curse, yes, but also a truth. In the chapel they found a trapdoor hidden beneath the altar. Below it, a narrow staircase winding deep into the earth. This isn't in the blueprints, Isla said. The air grew colder with each step. At the bottom they found a room carved from stone and bone. Symbols lined the walls. The remains of monks lay in circles around a black well. From that well came a voice. "You are seen." Maya screamed and ran. Jordan followed. Isla stood frozen. A hand reached up from the well. It wore Logan's watch. Only Isla made it out. She didn't remember how. One moment she was staring into the black. The next, she was drifting on a piece of wreckage across the lake. A fisherman found her 2 days later, raving, frostbitten, alone. No sign of the island remained. No GPS coordinates worked. It was gone. Epilogue. She never stopped looking. Years later, in a hospital bed, Isla whispered a single sentence to a journalist from a true crime podcast. "They can only take you if you speak their names." The episode aired. People listened. The bell began to ring again.